Hello, dear brothers and sisters. In these days, the coronavirus has us in a pretty tight spot. It's holding us in its grip. In the face of this terrible pandemic that somehow threatens one way or the other pretty much all of us, someone has asked whether this pandemic is actually becoming a pandemonium. Yes, certainly. We are writing a new page in the history of humankind. And somehow we could almost get the impression as if we are in the midst of a drama of Dante Alighieri, like we're in a nightmare where the apocalyptic horsemen are riding out to destroy the earth. The economy is shaking. Tremendous challenges. Some places at the verge of collapsing. The virus, a cure for the virus, or even a vaccine, is not really in sight yet. What is growing is insecurity and fear. Fear that grows faster than almost the pandemic itself. Fear, the worst enemy of humankind. And in this situation, I wonder, and I ask myself, as many people ask also, without really daring to put this question in words: where is God? Where in this storm is God? It is almost like it was on the Sea of Tiberias when Jesus was in the boat with the disciples. The storm breaks loose and Jesus sleeps. Jesus sleeping in the boat. Is he sleeping today also in our boat during this storm? Could it be that he doesn't really care whether we perish or even drown in this pandemic? Where is God? Now, I would like to show you that there are many pandemics in the Word of God. Many threatening situations, both in the Old and in the New Testament. Like there is the Red Sea, an unsurmountable problem. A hopeless situation with no way out. Or there is the destruction of Jerusalem and the destruction of the temple and even the destruction of the whole political and religious structure in Israel. The whole people deported into exile. There is shipwrecks, and there's so many other real big, threatening, difficult situations that we find in the Holy Scriptures, in the Word of God. These threatening situations, they are all like a coronavirus. But in the Word of God, we do find the answer. In the Word of God, we do find the answer. In John's Gospel, in chapter 15 and verse 3, Jesus tells his disciples, "You are already clean by the word I have spoken to you." You are already clean by the word I have spoken to you. And clean here, it also means to be free from everything that pulls us down. Clean by the Word of God. In the Word of God, we find the medicine to heal us. In the Word of God, we find the way out of the labyrinth. In the Word of God that gives us advice, the Word of God that accompanies us, and the Word of God that shows us ways of how to meet this invincible Goliath. Your word, the psalmist prays, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. So we would like to present you a small series of short videos. This little series, it is actually the idea of José Prado Flores, a dear fatherly friend from Mexico. He is the International Director of St. Andrew Schools of Evangelization, and he calls this small series Accomplices of Hope. Accomplices of Hope. In this small series, we want to see how the people in the Old Testament and in the New Testament dealt with threats, hopelessness, and fear. We want to see how they were coping so that we can learn from them what to do in our situation, how to cope in this pandemic. So do not miss any of these 14 accomplices of hope. Every day for 14 days, in one video, discover an accomplice of hope in the Word of God. But what you will discover is not just for you. The answers that you discover in the Word of God, you can, you may, you will, and you should share with others. Now may the Word of Christ dwell in us in all its richness, and may the peace of Christ triumph in our hearts. Until tomorrow.